Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't think we have boys and girls watching our, so it's listen, we have, because our content is matured audience.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not for kids, but boys and girls.
Anyway, last week I was able to run solo.
You were okay.
Yes,
super.
I mean I sort of converted my video and listening to yeah, and so because we had some very pressing matters to deal with, but now we're back. In fact, we thought we were going to have a show in Atlanta, but lo and behold, I was not available. This guy did. He had never seen me.
In fact,
I was so busy that he couldn't even see me. he managed to see me backstage.
And for very briefly, very briefly at backstage, the day after, everybody had disappeared.
I was that busy, actually. You know, no jokes. I was that busy, and we were staying really far away from each other. There was a time, and you know, when you go out like this, is not like where you can just let me enter bus to this next place or enter.
You can. This guy just didn't want me to come and find you. If he has whatever, I would have come to. Anyway, it was. We are still in the same city. It's Atlanta.
Unfortunately, it just didn't happen. I didn't even believe. I didn't think it was going to be like that, but so sad. Anyway,
exactly.
Moving on.
We are back.
We are back, and one of the, in fact, the biggest story in the entertainment industry.
I want to say it's probably the biggest story this year.
In a very long time, yes, this year. Honestly, because
it has to be.
What else? You know,
nothing. I don't think else has been as the extensiveness, the depth of the emotion it has provoked. Yeah, I don't think any story has had this in a long
effect,
time.
this kind of impact.
Yeah,
you know, and the challenge with Mohbad's passing is that there was a slow, effect. You know, from just normal like, oh, Mohbad is dead, or Murad has died, and whether it was a rumor or real, and then gradually the main or the news now started coming up with different other or started breaking down the particles, and that particles have now become a monster that needs to be dealt with. You know, so there's a lot to be you know, when the peel onions, what's the word they use? When just
layers.
to be, yes, there are layers that needs to be peeled off this story, because I still ask the question, or I'm still in the situation where I'm saying that what was the actual cause of Mohbad's death? Why? How come that a lot of things that has happened or that has happened in the past were not treated as at when it was supposed to be treated? Why are people connecting normally to this death? What is the way forward? Like, where are we with this Mohbad situation, really?
Yeah, it's totally, I mean, what we can say, of course, for a fact is it's an incredibly sad story. But yeah, there's, so like James had just pointed out, several layers to it. I feel like one of the layers, they even has its own particulars, because one layer is, okay, what exactly happened, you know, to Mohbad? But even that is what happened, is it connected in some way to Naira Marley? You know, because in my own view, I feel like we need to discuss two different things. On the one hand, the hounding by Malian Music and the associates, apparently. On the other hand, the actual events that led to Mohbad's passing. Are those two things linked, or are they not? You know, so we don't have this information, and of course, it looks to me like only the police, I assume, will be able to give us information, because I think they are the ones who can invite everybody who's involved, and like, okay, take down everybody's statement and then produce a cohesive account of what led to this month, and even let us even know itself, because something I think James or somebody, because this is something we've been discussing off air, we talked about earlier, was that there's supposed to be something like a death certificate. Usually in that thing you have the cause of death written on it. Do we have that kind of document? That? Exactly. Where exactly, if we do, where is it? You know, that's, there are just so many stories. The father, apparently, or the family, I don't know, buried the man almost like immediately after he passed. And I heard that he's not even a Muslim. Yeah, no, he's not. Definitely, and I feel like in church, he had this video too. In some circumstances, when things happen like this, at least for investigation's sake, even if he was a Muslim, is it possible that they would have said they have to hold on as to not bury him as soon as possible? Is it possible? Maybe, probably. I wouldn't know. So now we have to do with, like, okay, the responsibilities to the state, in quotes, and responsibility to the religion and the family. So, but yeah, so anyway, in this particular case, the man is not a Muslim, so it's all this already looks like this suspicious thing. Like, how are you burying somebody? It's not just a Muslim. It's not that he's a non-Muslim, but also he's famous.
Yes.
Usually, you don't have famous people getting buried like this if they are not Muslims. Of course, you get some kind of fanfare, some kind of something, But they're just like nothing. I think I saw something, or somebody told me that apparently the ballet of Ikorodu or somebody was on actually said that he shouldn't be buried the same night he died. I'm like, why were they rushing to bury him so soon? It's a super sad story. But anyway, it looks like recent events, the young men young people of Ikorodu want to like do a protest. At the same time, apparently the nurse who administered the said injection, I mean, if that's true, has also been arrested. So this is, quite frankly, a lot has been said and discussed and dissected over the past week since this happened. A lot more will be discussed, dissected again over the next plenty weeks or if not months, because it's everybody's interested.
So, and we also hear, I mean, there's been the whole social media protest that people should unfollow Naira Marley, people should stop playing his music, radio should stop playing his music and music videos. The last report I saw was MTV Base had cancelled us.
I wonder if that's true, because I wonder if that's true. But I saw that's
the report I saw.
Yes, I saw that MTV Base and Sound City.
I stopped playing music, and there's some radio stations that were mentioned.
Well, never really getting played on air per se.
Actually, the kind of music that he makes, not like a lot of people were playing music anyway. Apart from that,
on air, that is.
On air, yes. So now there's something that I'm looking at it, because I am still of the opinion that no matter how sentimental and how emotional that the situation may seem, that the law or investigation needs to take its course. Now, I don't know how the government or the police will be able to connect this his passing to Naira Marley. There are the reports of maybe the boy getting Mohbad, the late Mohbad, getting bullied. There's the report of him having had certain encounters or with another Naira Marley associate called Sam Larry. Yeah, so there are those reports. There are various reports, which may not have led to any direct
to his death.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's happened in the past. Because if as at that time that thing was happening, if there are no criminal reports, or should I say criminal reports, or no report at all about those things that he was going through.
Oh no, there was a report apparently just months ago. When that music video defense shoot, the one with him and Zlatan.
Okay.
After that, I saw a document where he seems to have petitioned the police and saying that he was getting harassed by this Sam Larry guy who seems to have been associated with Malian music or whatever it's called.
Fantastic. Yes. If that had happened, that's probably is a fair situation. It's a good thing. So they need to check every other situations, because but when we now look at the cause of his, or why or how he died now, if the situation does not point to Naira Marley, just maybe the law may not in any way bring Naira Marley to book or make
to answer for
anything. Do you understand? That is if the cause of death, eventual death, is not connected to maybe how he was beaten one time or the other or whatever. Because there are just so many stories. I'm hearing that he probably had he was hypertensive. I've been hearing a lot of stories, but I am still of the opinion that it would be nice for us to have a proper report as to how this guy passed, than the whole rumors that are flying up and down the internet.
Yeah, but as it is though, irrespective of what happens to Naira Marley, because let's remember, it's not like anybody has sued Naira Marley for anything.
No,
the state has not brought anything against him, so that's and I don't know how, if, as James has just pointed out, if the death was unconnected to Naira Marley. But however, we've seen evidence of like bullying and harassment.
Yes.
I don't know if there is, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know if there's anything that addresses, anything in the law that addresses a posthumous harassment. And this person died out of maybe medical, let's just say medical malpractice, for instance.
Maybe, yes.
However, there's evidence that before he passed, unconnected to the medical malpractice, he was harassed by this individual who is still alive several times. Whether it's possible to bring a case against the person, you get. So I don't know if that's a possibility. But what I can say, what I think is the case now, especially with regards to Naira Marley, is that his music career might as good as be over at the moment. I feel like appearing in public too in Nigeria, at least for
a
the
long
next
time, I don't
year
know,
or 2 years or whatever it is, might be very, very tricky for him, irrespective of what happens to him legally or not. Irrespective, because yes, this thing about like his music getting boycotted, people just feeling really bad about him as a person.
Yes,
means that he definitely cannot perform any public shows, not in this country, not this year, not in a long time, you know, in Nigeria.
Even wherever, I don't think
I'm not sure that, because any show promoter who is kind of trying to get him to come and perform is kind of cutting violence or chaos that particular event. So I think every promoter will trying to avoid Naira or anybody connected. If I haven't seen who is also connected to Mariam music,
is affected by this whole thing.
So it means that anybody who's connected somewhat will be excused from any event that they have that take place in public, because nobody just knows what might happen. You see Naira on the street, there are regular people who I just want to harm him. You just don't want that on your head. So I feel like that definitely. So I think for his career as a musician, at least in public, live performance and stuff, probably is over, at least for the now. What might happen actually, funny James, is that if there is, the way he might be able to come back is if the police or we get some kind of investigative report that tells us exactly how Mohbad passed, and then normally shows up and wants to piggybacks on that and says, you know what, I made mistakes and everything, but I did not do anything that led to this man's death. This report by the police, reports by this investigative body, has certainly put that to rest. That is how very mildly I think he might be able to like walk his way back into a certain level of acceptance. Still tricky, but that's, in my own view, the only way possible that he's going to be able to come out from this. Only way.
You know, the funny thing, I was just looking at my Instagram and I saw some comedian who had like on bio or something Naira twins who, look at,
okay, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know if I if you can see it. If not, I'm going to post it later. He's doing a disclaimer because people are now reporting his page as well. There's some people who don't even know the name. They just, once you just look like any liking of Naira too, they also report. So the guy is actually asking people that please, he's not Naira, he just has Naira twin, like, because he looks like Naira, and people are also now cancelling and reporting his page. You know, as this whole thing is hitting up, and but always there's something else I really think that you know, should point out here. I mean, I understand the aspect of empathy and sympathy from everybody. You know, this is not disregarding the fact that people are dying every other day, even in the hospitals, from, you know, medical errors, cars hitting people, you know, armed robbers shooting people, and so many ways that people are dying, you know, in the country and even around the world. But I see something happening, like, you know, when it comes to how people now start jumping on the story, or I just don't want to use the word clout carelessly, but I feel like I've seen a lot of people who are talking passionately about Mohbad and then Dan and then this, and just trying to tap into the buzz of the news right now, because people see even with content users or content consumers, anything, and they just they are looking for more information, and once they just see Mohbad anyway, they want to go and consume or go and see. But some people are talking, some people are acting like, or even sounding like they were great friends with him and this and that, and they are using it to actually clout or chase clout off this story. You know, I mean, I saw one of the stories that where you know, an artist was saying that, look, when somebody is complaining, or when somebody has said or has sort of poured his heart, you know, like all the whole people fighting him, people how he has been harassed, how he had come out to say certain things, you know, there are videos everywhere, that if people are taking charge at that point in time, say, wait, what is going on with Mohbad? Police, this guy is being threatened, this is, can you people sit on this case, can you people check out what's happening with this guy and the people that he claims or that he said are harassing him, and that the thing would have been, you know, nipped in the bud from the earlier time,
of course, before
this. Do you understand? So now that people are now coming to talk and say this and say that and say this and how they have, I just feel like, Where were you when the guy was crying?
So you're right. I mean, of course, I think with every sort of, technically speaking, that's what we are doing as well, talking about this story. Yes. Whenever something like this big happens, there are going to be people who take it upon themselves, or is their job, to talk about it, to report about it, to have opinions about it. It's just how it works. Social media, of course, means that gives everybody a chance to say something. So there are those who, it looks like there's a very thin line between genuinely concerned and genuinely interested in analyzing issues and using those same issues to push your own personal brand or for commercial purposes and everything. So it's unfortunate, but the line is almost invisible. It's a very thin, very, very thin line, you get. So yeah, so there are people like that, and I've seen a lot of things online, and I know that I know that some of these people who, especially those are the entertainment scene, they are, it looks like, I can't say, because I'm not in their hearts, it looks like, yeah, they have seen finally something that gives them a certain level of relevance in the grand scheme of things. Engagement, people are listening to people, comments and everything. So this is an opportunity for them to like get on it. I can't hate on them, to be honest, you know, but I feel like if I was a member of the Mohbad family, I might just feel like you are using this thing for sports, and that's not quite nice. But frankly, the world we live in today, an ability to, in quotes, as they say, it's jump on trends, is an asset from a commercial perspective. So everybody forgets morals. What can you, how can you
benefit from this thing?
Exactly, you get. After all, they will say, Mohbad is dead. There's nothing we can do that will bring him back, you know. But for us, it's a long time since I saw anybody, 3 people like my comments, 5 people comment. Now I'm seeing hundreds, I'm seeing thousands. I better keep jumping on this thing up until, of course, flog the hots as much as is possible to do. So I say it, I don't like it, but I totally understand. In 2023, I understand it.
So also, like, one of the things I like about the situation is that it has opened a new level of awareness to both the entertainment industry and, you know, the society generally.
Yes, bullying on the one hand, in some society, bullying in the Nigerian society, and also entertainment, the kind of craziness that happens in the entertainment space. I think people are kind of vaguely aware that entertainment space is like a very weird place, but things like this even reveal open the curtain a lot further for people to understand that, man, look, this thing that gives you joy in the clubs, that gives you joy in your house, that you're happy to just be vibing and dancing to, there's a lot of dark. It's dark in there, man. Super dark. So it's unfortunate that somebody has to die for us to become smarter about stuff. You know, what even makes me feel particularly displeased about the situation is that it's not like somebody died and his mouth was shut. This man kept talking about what was happening to him. At least the part that feels that people are really whatever I'm concerned about now. Kept talking about it, you know. But somehow, social media, that's the problem with social media, is like, you know, back in the day, if you're watching a bit of news on TV, maybe if you were younger and your father was the one watching news, it was a serious occasion. News was serious. If you're watching this too, even if it was good news, it was still something that you treated with some kind of reverence.
True.
Social media now is giving you the news, but it's giving it to us in a way that is not different from entertainment. So Mohbad is showing you his injuries. Those are real injuries. True. You know, real injuries. I mean, he had at least one he posted, I think, sometime last year. Real injuries, you get, telling you how you got the injuries.
True.
You are laughing about it. There's LOL, there's LMAO, there's like, this guy's an addict because, of course, normally showed up later. So what you are doing is somebody is giving you his pain. He's not even telling it to you in the song, oh. He's telling it to you directly, showing you the whatever. But all of us are consuming it as fun.
Content.
It's just content.
Funny content.
You get? It's just content. No reverence given to this thing that, okay, this something was happening serious. Somebody has just been injured, though. You get? And then it gets this bad. And then suddenly we are going back and like, sheesh, I saw that video back at the day, but I just laughed and passed it by. You get? But it was an important document, you know, that this man has put out there. So it's really unfortunate, and hopefully we treat some of these things a lot better. I remember back, there was a few years ago, the incident, I think the train incident somewhere in the north, where a doctor was saying that she had just been shot, and people were making jokes about the situation. And actually she had been shot. I mean, she died eventually, you know, but she actually had been shot, you know. But because it was Twitter, it felt like, okay, you can make jokes about it. The lady actually died. So I just hope that, yes, alongside the attention this has brought to bullying, because let's remember, in Nigeria, bullying was never, it was seen as, I mean, we found against it, but it's just like,
they say you are lazy.
You are just lazy, you don't get power, you get something like that.
Be a man.
You get,
maybe the person is your mate. Go and fight your mate.
You understand, exactly. Meanwhile, other countries that understand the psychological effects of these things have already tried campaigning about bullying for a long time.
Yes.
Nigeria, even at this, we still haven't come to that point where we are like really forcefully against the idea of bullying. You know? So there is that, there's the fact of bullying, there's the fact of the entertainment business, also the fact of how do you consume this content. This thing is somebody's life. Of course, it's entertainment, but there's also somebody's life at stake, you know. There's harm being perpetrated.
Yeah. So
we have to find a way as a people that is a social media, but some of these things, some of this content are serious, and there's something beyond laughter at stake.
So I mean, this whole bullying thing that we're talking about, you know, how it's serious in other countries, or you know, the other side of the world. It just sort of reminded me of, I mean, the Big Brother, just the ongoing and almost concluded Big Brother show, where one of the housemates, Alex, is championing an organization or a body that fights against bullying. And when she was talking about it in the house, she didn't even know that maybe she, of course, a lot of people know Mohbad's story, just that people did not take action as at when the stories or when he had been talking about it. I remember when Bella's mother was on a show with Chude, and he said that Mohbad tried to kill himself out of the frustration of what he was going through and stuff. So back to Alex. Alex, you know, is championing a body against bullying, and I think we should start having all of that around the country now. You know, this bullying thing. I mean, when it comes to this whole label and artist, or in fact in this situation of Mohbad and the Mali Malian music situation, it's almost going way beyond just bullying, because the guy, from the story that we know from the start, was that he was ready to leave the label, or wanted to leave the label, or he was asking for maybe the document to his streaming or whatever. All this, he was just asking questions about the business that they were doing together, and the label wasn't happy about it, and from there the thing escalated into violence, beef, bullying, and what have you. I'm even thinking that some of the songs that are even popular right now, that people are even now going to stream and say they're saying is #1 and blah 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 on Apple, the streaming income might even be going to Malian music if care is not taken.
Are you kidding me? Almost definitely.
You know, so see how sad that situation is. So, but I mean, we have to keep it moving. We have to keep it moving.
Yeah.
I mean, like from here, we're still saying rest in peace to the guy, and we are really hoping that the police and all the authorities concerned will be able to dig deep into giving us clarity of exactly what exactly happened, how did the guy die, and who is responsible.
Yes.
You know, hopefully we'll get to that point. Moving on, I mean, in other not so sad, but you know, another Nigerian artist, Omah granted an interview not too long ago where we were talking about, in fact, when we were talking about this particular story at first, I was telling Oris here that I feel like the media looks for one tiny winning part of an interview and comes out to blow. They make it seem like there's an issue, but the story was saying basically that Omah said that his sudden what's it called, fame, yeah, his sudden fame, or you know, his sudden popularity, whatever,
disorienting,
destabilized him, was a problem to him. And I mean, why not? We were saying, we were discussing earlier as well, that Omah was one of those artists who blew from the pandemic. It was sudden. His music came out, people loved his music, the thing went global just right there and then, and I don't think he has chilled or he has calmed down, or the music has piped low till now. He still has great music. He's still where he is when it came out. You know, so you can imagine when you wake up and your song, your first project, is just all over the place, and you just become a global sensation overnight. Now the next door that you used to go and buy bully and fish, you cannot not walk there anymore. Because people will, not just people coming to celebrate you, but people who want to get something from you. And so you now suddenly start moving around with bodyguards. Suddenly you move from Port Harcourt to Lagos, and you can't even just be seen anywhere anymore like that. I think it can be disorienting. It can really destabilize your normal listening.
I haven't experienced that. I'm not a famous person in any way. So.
I have. A little,
Starboy James. Anyway, I'm not a famous person, so I wouldn't know. But I can just imagine it actually, that this is like whiplash. Suddenly you are here, and then you are here. Attention. How do you deal with from his own excess? The fact that back in the day you could afford 3 square meters, you can afford 50 square meters right now. You could maybe not afford a bottle of rosé in the club. Now
they bring it to you.
Moy and Shandon, they are giving you 5 bottles. Free Azul.
Before,
like 5.
you could not even cross. In fact, they will still check you before they let you into the normal club.
Exactly.
Now
they're putting you in the VIP.
All they got to take you straight to extra VIP, VVIP overnight.
That's what you're going to. So it's like suddenly the girls that you're toasting that were giving you hard time, 3 of them are offering. They are
throwing their bras at you.
You get. So there is this sudden excess, it's kind of like even drinking water is good, but you can get water intoxicated if you drink it too fast. Water that is harmless, so you get. So imagine something like this where it feels like everything, good, bad, sin, poof, all at once, And if you don't find a way to say, you can't say no, you are in big trouble. So I feel like that's kind of what he's describing. In fact, I know this because I interviewed Omalay's his management like a while ago, and they were telling me that one of his songs actually addresses this thing that people are not, of course, as usual, not really
listening
aware.
Like that. Yes.
So there's I think it is them. Hey, is it them? I think it's them. Them. There's a part anyway. He was talking about how he was in the club or driving somewhere and drinking or something, but it's practically just like talking about how things are just kind of changed suddenly for him. And the label they were kind of joking about it and saying that it seemed like he was criticizing them, for all of the things they are now giving or done for him or done to him.
Where he is,
exactly to where he is, and it was tongue in cheek. It's not a very serious thing, but they felt that when they listened to the song when Omalay recorded it before it was released, they felt like is this guy attacking us for this
for a job well done?
Exactly. Technically, so so there's all of that in Omalay's music, and I've always felt like Omalay is one of the people who probably, when Burna Boy made that comment about no substance, probably doesn't touch him.
If he was going to say apart from, he would say apart from Omalay.
Exactly. If he was going to mention 2 people, one of them would have definitely been Omalay, because Burna Boy also went further. In fact, in that same interview, of course, that people don't cut that part, But he also said that that he always felt like if you're an artist and you're releasing a project, the idea is that you're a person who goes through who goes through life, and so there's good, there's bad, there's ugly, there's all kinds, and so he feels like when you're releasing a project, that's kind of what you
express
should give
everything,
your people,
everything,
the good, the popping champagne, the women, everything, that's fine, but also the bad. How are you handling this stuff? The ugly, what kind of things have you been through in your life? Stuff like that. That's what he felt. So I feel like Omalay, on the Omalay's project, even the EP that had only 4 songs, you could also go through the same thing. You get like I feel like one of the first songs I ever heard from Omalay. Now I feel on social media it doesn't seem like people know those songs. I mean they do, but it doesn't feel like it gets as much commentary.
So but what always happens is that for the artists they promote.
Yes, also the songs. Yes,
so you as the fan or a music fan will now go and then
but one of the songs, the first songs I heard from Omalay, was a very, 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 very explicitly sexual song called Yeah. You get, but of course that kind of song cannot get played on radio. You probably know it's a certain kind of arrangement, so it's kind of funny. But that's one of the first songs I heard from Omalay. I was like, who sang this song? But the production was so good. And the way his metaphors, or if that's why I put the similes he used, that song was very funny. Where he says, make her go down like a color coat. Anyway, very, very funny song anyway, and I liked it. So that's on that same record. That also has a song, like I said, like I think, I don't know the same one I had them. That was the Get Laid EP, I believe you get. Lo Lo Lo, which is like a more love song. Just, that project kind of gives you an idea of this guy. Of course, super young man, has a melancholic side, but also has a very young man who are always horny. He has the horny side as well of the music. So that's kind of what Omalay is. So I think in this interview he's speaking about stuff. He's trying to explain that, last, this is what happened to him, or in the first few months, or maybe first year or first 2 years of getting famous. But now, he's in a
good
much
place.
better place.
That's I was coming to that. So
exactly,
that's why when I said the way this media put the story, you now think that
like, okay,
because some people, in trouble. Okay. Some of the comments I saw were saying, "I beg, Omah, tell us what you are going through." I mean, this one,
but there was this on Twitter like a while ago. There's this video he was performing somewhere, I think maybe in Europe or somewhere, and people were like, "Oh, he was looking into space." That it just felt like he was kind of sad when he was performing, and they're like, what's happening to Omah? This is like months ago, last year or thereabout, you know. But I felt like there's also a thin line too beyond with this is how you feel, and also this is how you are performing it, because it's not a happy song.
Yes.
So you know it's tricky.
Yes,
it's tricky
because I always say that artists, musicians too, pick a character. They get into character.
Yes.
When they're performing or when they're passing that message.
I would not expect.
Go ahead.
Okay, I would not expect Omah to perform so the same way he'll perform this song. I said.
Yes.
So is more like a more meditative song about, like, you know, somebody who's supposed to come and heal him.
Yes.
Is this very super sexual song about a woman going down and oral sex. What
you just said now, I was going to use a Burna Boy example, that the way Burna Boy will perform, the way I've seen him perform alone. Exactly. It's not the same way he will perform.
Maybe try, maybe it's not the same way.
So it's different. So, but I mean, what's actually great in the situation right now is that Omah is fine, he's doing great. He said he has been able to balance all of that, and I feel like time will teach you how to, you know, experience will teach you what to do eventually. So I think he has been able to balance, or he's fine.
If a part of me feels like modern artists are probably better equipped. I don't know if it's true
than before.
Yes, than in dealing with these things. Maybe there's more access to help. Maybe.
You know, yeah, maybe, because now what just came to mind when it comes to this whole fame thing is Michael Jackson. Michael was a child star.
Yes. So I would continue
like that.
If Michael was born in 2000 or in 2020, might he not have been able to
find balance in good time?
Yes.
He probably would have.
Probably. Yeah, then again, I won't think minus Michael, in recent times, have we had like people who have, especially musicians, who have had that kind of crazy career where, like, at age 7 or age 10, you are already famous. At age 15, you are famous again. Then at 24, you now do the biggest album ever. I wonder if you've had anybody like Bieber. Started young, but I think Bieber was kind of like a teenager, I think, or thereabouts, at the time he started to get famous. And even he himself had his own backlash.
Yes, he did.
Chris Brown had his own wahala too. Probably still does. But you know, other people have. Yeah. So yeah, child is why I even say that. Forget fame, self. I say, because I got into university, I think around, like, I was about to turn 16, I think, the year I got into university. And I've always felt like if I had a child, I would want the child, no matter how early you finish secondary school, you must stay in that house until you're 18.
What I you just said now, okay, look at me. Look at, in my own situation, my real life situation right now, my daughter, who's probably one of the smartest, top 3, do you understand, who has been top 3 since in her class till date. And at primary 5, she did the common entrance. She had passed the common entrance. I would have just said start secondary school, but after consultations, after even with the school discussing with us and everything, with parents and everything, I said let her do primary 6. Let her be more mature. Let her be, you understand? So I had to let that happen.
Me, I'm like, you know? I insist. I'm saying that now because just looking at my own experience. It's not like, of course,
imagine how small, how little you would have been.
Yes. No.
Imagine the ones that were in school already. Imagine, and then the whole thing, that devices that can happen.
Everything can happen. No, nothing. I mean, look at me. Nothing really bad happened, so to speak. But I know that this is a very, very tricky. Even sometimes, even minus devices, even like to even totally get the full, in quote, enjoyment of even being in university, you probably have to be a little bit older. You know, so it's like, one, avoiding devices, you need to be older. Enjoying the good things about even being there, you also need to be older too. Because one thing is that you should do it, but you won't do it because you feel like you are too scared, you are too young. You get, so there's also that. So me, I'm honestly, like I say, I keep telling people that, you know what, right now, if I only had a kid, because me too, I was one of those over-sabi kids. Even if I had an over-sabi kid today and you finish school at 12, is going to stay in that house until 16. Maybe not stay in that house, but do other things. Maybe one small short course here, one A-level here, go travel here, one level. But I'm not going to put you into university until you are at least 18. That's what I believe. I feel like 17, 18, probably. That's kind of what I really think. 18 really is the age you should be in university, do a 4 or 5 year course, and again get out. But anyway, but the point is, I feel like certain things happen to people too early, and there's a way it stays with them,
yes,
up until they are full adults.
Sometimes their lifetime.
Yes, exactly. You know, and so you like, I don't want to burden my because I'm trying to form that, oh, Pikin smart or something, or Pikin is famous or Pikin is talented. I'm not going to like stunt this child in one way because of that. No, I don't believe it. So I get people who are like child stars. You see all of them. Some of them end up in like super druggy.
True.
You get? They need rehab.
True.
You're a teenager, they already need rehab.
True. I mean, look at
you're an addict.
What happened to
so many of them?
The one that the parent they gave custody to,
yes,
all had Britney Spears. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like not a. I do not think so. So I feel like yes, certain things happen too fast to certain kids, and so they should be protected in some way. So of course, Omah will be fine though.
We need to round up real quick. Katy Perry reportedly makes $225 million by selling her music catalog. Now, what I want us to just quickly, I mean, guys, if you want this story, it's up out there on the internet. Go check and see the details and you know how, who bought and stuff. But just, I don't even want to talk about the number, but let's look at the value in terms of our Nigerian artists or our industry here. Which artists do you see having that kind of a rich catalog? I mean, I feel like Katy Perry may not even have, when you talk about numbers, may not even have as much as like an MI or Olamide. This is even maybe this too much.
How do you mean?
In terms of catalog numbers of records, albums, yes, records and stuff, singles and stuff. I don't think she will have as much
maybe
as
not.
Olamide, who has, you know, who released his 10th album not so long ago.
Maybe not.
So I don't think she even. But look at how much is on this album.
America.
So now let's look at, you know, no disrespect to our Nigerian art. I mean, I just use Olamide as an example. I'm saying number of songs, not what's it called, quality or whatever, or money. But so let's look at our industry right now. Which artists do you see having a quality? That's quality catalog. Like we say, if they buy this guy's catalog, I'm not talking about how much, but say, who, like, if I have money, I might be interested to want to buy a couple of, say, okay, I can offer and say, can I buy your catalog? Which Nigerian artists do you see being in that situation?
Right now, the one I would say, okay, I feel like the most valuable that you want to own, if you can just do one juju and just own this thing and then you can sell it yourself in the international market. Burna Boy's catalog.
Oh, come on, let's not even go to Burna Boy. Let's take it now that Burna Boy's catalog is American. It's no longer an Nigerian catalog. Okay, it has passed, has left us. It's around the same way with Katy Perry. Okay. Leave it there. Let's look at other people. Shout out to Nigeria regardless, it's still us.
Which artist can I say, okay, this one is super valuable? I will say, you can't say Whiskey either. Oh, no.
No, we can say Whiskey.
You can say yes. We can say okay, all right. So yes. No, not Whiskey. No, I want to say Whiskey, but maybe not Whiskey actually. Davido.
Oh really? You give it to Davido first? You take Davido's catalog first, eh?
If I'm thinking, so it depends. Okay, sorry. It then depends on how you're looking at this thing. You're talking about if I'm selling it to anybody in the world.
Yeah, that you are
anywhere in the world.
Money, yeah. I'm just saying, no, it's okay if you want to give it. I'm just saying,
no, I get. No, but the reason why I was saying Davido, I was going to say that part of the way this thing works is that when the songs came out, how successful were they with the place where they came out? And I feel like Davido's singles have been more successful in my own view than Whiskey singles. If you're thinking about pure numbers, that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say, Davido. But you're thinking about, okay, in terms of like the international, they are going to build it for it
value abroad as well. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So that's where I'll be like.
So let's thinking. You can still show guys if you're watching.
Yes,
let me know
have an opinion about this.
Davido and Whiskey, Davido's catalog and Whiskey's catalog. Between both catalogs, which one do you think will be
more
money in terms of
the
value?
International market?
Generally, which one do you think? But now let's continue with the other artists. I think so. In my head, what came to mind was I don't know why. It might just be stupid. But I thought about Flavor's catalog. Flavor's catalog.
I'm sorry to say, but yes, James is stupid. No, I'm sorry, man. I know. I mean, I love Flavor, but
okay. So I'm saying Flavor's catalog. So I maintain Flavor's catalog. I'm also thinking Olamide's catalog. I'm also thinking. I don't know about Tubaba, but I'll just say Tubaba Sha.
So good. I feel like yes. If you say Tubaba, I would probably pick Tubaba above all those
because you have African Queen at least to drive it.
Yes, not just that, but I feel like in this kind of thing, you need somebody who's speaking English. Definitely. That's why flavor would not count at all. At all, it's not possible. So somebody speaking English, 1. 2, you need the person to be singing a very common genre, which by the way is only which is just, I'm just using that as a euphemism or as like another word for the word pop music, and that is why Two-Face is the one, and no rapper will qualify either. No rapper will qualify because again,
not a little of MI.
We have not even MI.
Not because a little of the Chairman album.
No. The problem is that we have not proven, unlike maybe certain Latino kind of rap or something, that Nigerian rap music travels. We haven't proven it. Nobody has proven that. You get? So that's what I'm saying. International market, 2 things you require: English and pop music. In fact, let's use the word now: English and Afrobeats, as they call it. Those are the only 2. Whoever's going to be the most successful, what's it called now, artist in terms of like a catalog sale perspective, minus our big 3 artists, has to be singing pop music and in the English language, or at least partly in the English language, heavily in the English language, for that to qualify. So Olamide, no. Flavor, no. They might be big here, that's fine. So if you're going to sell it to a Nigerian, African, maybe fair. In fact, Nigerian audience, maybe, you know. But you want people to bid good money. I think that yes, you need, because again, if it's English people can connect, I think, a lot more. And so if it is pop music, it means that we'll probably have the Afro thing inside. So even if there's one Oyibo film that want to use one kind of indigenous music, they might even be more tempted to use the pop music than to use the real Ijile one. Otherwise, they'll leave them flavor or whatever. I'm going to look for the Fuji musicians gone, and the Juju musicians, you get, and the people who are singing the ones in my village. Those are what they would rather use, rather than use this middle of the road people. So that's why, I think that, it's...
so can we just say Fela Anikulapo's catalog?
I feel like we're taking it in this way always. Okay, Fela's one again is that it's that time, and we're in the space where the people who control the most money probably belong to that generation. They know Fela. The end.
Okay, tell us what you think, guys. I think this is the end of the show.
Yeah, we have almost an hour. So yes, guys, we'll be back again next week.
James Salas on Instagram,
and
Twitter,
catch on Twitter.
Yeah,
on X. Sorry.
On X. Yes. The catalog, I say catalog. The platform formerly known as
Twitter. Yes, so it's on X.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, peace. Guys.